It's so nice not having to worry about the black screen issue. So, I want to start a solar eclipse in a bit. So I'm going to take the one full solar tablet. And now I'm going to try to catch up as quickly as possible. Why am I so quiet? I don't notice my throat is messed up until I start speaking. Okay, so first of all, I did another pumpkin moon and I got enough spooky wood to make the spooky armor. It doesn't have a specific whip bonus, but it has a lot of summon damage, which still increases my whip damage over 300 on the morning star. That's awesome. So I'm going to leave the tiki armor there. I just remembered that the hallowed armor exists. I'll figure this out later. I can organize those off camera. I'll still be using the sanguine staff. I like it a lot, just because the bats are so accurate and their damage is alright. And I'm gonna have to start the solar eclipse. But, now what the hell, I'll finish the rest of the catch-up later. Now that I've beaten Plantera, or was it the golem? I think it might have been the golem. Or no, it was Plantera, because someone asked me, or mentioned that I should get the Deadly Sphere staff in an earlier video, but I can't do that. Because the Deadly Spheres only spawn now that Plantera has been beaten. But I am interested in that. It's a summon item. And it's probably better than the sanguine bats. So Mothrons drop some good stuff, including a pair of wings, but I think they're fairly rare, so I'm not expecting anything. Man, now there are even more horror movie references. Well, actually, Mothron is Mothra. That's not horror, that's kaiju, but still. Monster movies, I guess. You might be able to see the little deadly spheres flying around. I'll use my buffs, might as well. I think I'll have to farm some buffs before next part. I forgot about one of the events I want to do. Alright, there's Nailhead. He's sort of a mini-boss. Whenever you hit him, nails fly out. Some of them aimed at you, some of them aimed away. Actually kind of a fun enemy to deal with. I think I want 2 queen spiders. I wanted to buy the best sentry from the Old One's Army event. But turns out they cost 60 defender medals each. So I think I'm gonna try doing the last tier of Old One's Army now. I should be able to do it, I think. Could be my crowd control isn't good enough. Actually, I'm probably gonna fail specifically because I don't have the last tier of Sentry. I'd still want the Lightning Aura and Flame Burst, I think. I like those the best. Yeah, one thing I'm hoping for, I'm still not sure if that's what I'm gonna go with, is a Moon Charm from the vampires. Something else I can talk about during this. I got a Dark Harvest from the Pumpkin Moon. The Pumpkin drops it. I forgot about it completely, but I don't know if it's actually better than the Morning Star, because it's lower damage and faster attack speed. It doesn't have the crit damage bonus for your summons. Oh, damn it. I need to focus. It is master mode after all. There's no such thing as not dying quickly. Unless you're super lucky with dodge chance, I guess, in the case of this world. Oh my god. Well, you do respawn with not full life. I forget exactly how much it was. And I wasn't looking just now. So it makes sense that I'd be that close to death. Yeah, the Dark Harvest has this effect where when your summons hit the enemy you whipped, it causes this chain damage effect. Like a bunch of dark energy spreads to additional targets. And that's kinda neat, but I don't know, it's hard for me to test what actually amounts to more DPS. And I think I like the Morning Star. I seem to remember the Morning Star being the best crowd control whip. If I'm not wrong about that. The nails are so hard to see, is my only problem with that enemy. Unfortunately, I'm not sure if I'm gonna get a Deadly Sphere Staff. It's kind of rare. I'm at a loss for words. I'll keep going with the catch-up. Mid-event. I also got the Witch's Broom from the Morningwood enemy, which is a mount that lets you fly. It's Master Mode exclusive, and I think it's ridiculously good. There's another mount that does the same thing, but I think is just slower than the Witch's Broom, which is why I think it's kind of bad and I don't bother with it. But the Witch's Broom, I think, can genuinely help you even cheese some boss fights, which I will do, because there's a certain boss I do not respect in the slightest. And I think this is the most convenient way to deal with it. You'll see later. What next? Yeah, I killed Golem 10 times, and I used the money. Oh, Moonstone, nice. Moonstone, right, and Sunstone, I guess. Why did I think it was a charm? Anyway, where was I? Right, all of my modifiers are warding now. And that's nice. I also got the Golem's boss pet. It's kinda nice, I like its flying animation. I don't want Nailhead to kill me. I'm trying to be a little weary of him. Oh right, Mothrons exist. Took a while. Before this event used to be only zombie-esque enemies, the Reapers, I think vampires, and that was it. So every other enemy you see here was added after some updates. And it used to be that instead of the Mothron dropping specific useful items, it was the Frankensteins, the what was it, the creature from the deep, that enemy. But now the Mothron is the designated mini-boss that drops some of the most important items for certain characters. Mostly warrior. There's an item called a Broken Hero Sword, which you need to make the best swords in the game. Oh, there it is actually. So yeah, Mothron drops that. Please get out of here, Nailhead. I'm gonna have a lot of junk to sift through, but I might not even bother with it as of now. Oh, I was wondering why the princess was unhappy, right? I did remember correctly that the princess loves every other NPC, and they all like her as well. But she requires at least 2 NPCs in close proximity to her, or else she's miserable. She hates being alone, I guess is the idea. So she's either at max happiness or at minimum happiness. And the wizard was just barely too far away to count as being in close proximity to her, so that's why she was miserable. So I just moved him, I turned the corridor with the stairs into a room. And then I bought every vanity item I cared about from the princess. Oh, the Death Sickle. That's a decent melee weapon, I'm pretty sure. There's more stuff in my inventory. Right, I got the Sunstone from the Golem, and I'm going to combine it with the Moonstone for one of the accessories I want. And I think I got a Neptune shell from the Creature from the Deep, so I can also use that to get a further upgrade. I feel like I could be using battle potions and water candles, but I'm not sure. Maybe the Deadly Sphere Staff is not meant to be. Oh, actually, I just remembered another summon weapon. Nah, screw the Deadly Sphere Staff. It's good, but its drop rate is too low, and I don't feel like farming this event. I mean, this is the first time I'm showing off the full event with all of the enemies, and I'm still kind of bored of it, so I won't subject myself to more of that. Yeah, the second event I'll be doing in this part hopefully will give me what I want. I was lucky enough when playing Mage that I got the exact thing I care about. I didn't know the enemies here could drop stakes, but I'm pretty happy about it. I've been low on stuff. Oh yeah, Mothron's finally doing its other thing. It can land, lay eggs, and those eggs will become mini Mothrons if you don't destroy them. It's not a big deal, but yeah. I think the cats might be unhappy that I'm the only person who's home right now. Mothron wings, yes. Well, maybe I shouldn't have modified my current wings to warding, since I'm just gonna replace them now, but I wasn't betting on that. I beat my Mage World without farming for low drop rate wings like these. As a general bit of advice when playing this game, try to work with whatever you happen to get. That way you won't spend time being bored doing busy work. It's much more fun that way. I got into some bad habits after playing the game for so long, and it took my friend Algol to just mention the obvious idea of don't bother if it's boring, which I feel a little silly for not thinking of that myself. I can absolutely make do with the most common of items. I would actually prefer if certain items just generated in a world when you first made that world, or didn't, and there was no way to get them after the fact. That would force more variety and improvisation. I guess that would be closer to a roguelike, I guess. Hey, this game's procedurally generated, so close enough, I guess. At this point, you can just throw around the term roguelike whenever there's any similarity whatsoever. Yes! Okay, Deadly Sphere Staff. That's great. At this point, I don't want to fill up my inventory with any more garbage, so, can I sleep through the rest of this? Nope. Makes sense. Actually, didn't I try that before? That'll only take a minute anyway. And while that minute passes, the traveling merchant sold this item right here, which is my favorite pet in the game, because it's a baby harpy. It's adorable. Need I say anything more? Oh yeah, the golem is actually a light pet. Huh, I'm keeping it on then, that's cool. So the golem replaced the wisp in the bottle. I'm fine with that. Putting away items while the event's still going on. I really don't know if I'm gonna bother with most of these, but oh well. And there we are. Another master mode mount is the Hex Branch, which is an incredibly fast horizontal mount. It's kind of amazing, actually. Oh, I think I read about this when I was curious about when certain things appear in the Solar Eclipse. The Amulet of Night, I'm pretty sure, is another transformation. Turns you into a bat. Those are fun. If there's one thing I can say about this harpy pet, as much as I love it, I wish there was animations for it perching and idling. I think that would add to the appeal a lot. I'll stick with the Witch's Broom. I do think it's really, really good. Although if you wanted to move it Mach 10, I guess the Hex Branch is better, but I feel like I'd need to build a large horizontal platform to really take advantage of that. Now, don't mind me while I sift through some of this. I think I'll leave most of this as is. I'll take out the things I need, like the Mothron wings. The black fairy dust. Wait a minute. That's from the Pumpkin Moon. I forgot to clean out some stuff earlier, I think. In any case, it's like the twig that I made my current spooky wings with. But I won't be needing that. But I will be needing the Neptune shell. It's funny that they called this yo-yo the Eye of Cthulhu. I think that's because the actual yo-yo sold is called that. But now there needs to be a disambiguation between the boss and the weapon. I think I should definitely switch to Deadly Sphere Staff. That's a lot of damage. I unmuted myself properly, right? Yeah. My nose also got stuffed up right when I started recording. I hate it when that happens. Oh, these wings even look really cool. I haven't had them in a while. Excuse me, just getting distracted by yet another thing. Wouldn't mind another Golden Delight. At this point, selling gold critters is worthless. 10 gold is... Let's say a platinum coin is $1 and gold is now a cent. It's not worth it. Speaking of money, I've got plenty. If that one person who asked about the Deadly Sphere Staff is still watching, I got it. It's all good. Right. A bit of a distraction before I get started and before I finish sorting out my inventory. I completely forgot that you can shimmer the slime gun and get the shimmer gun. There's something I could have done even without this, which is to dunk NPCs in shimmer, but it was just too much of a pain. But now I can just use this. Actually, it says so, right? Squirts an enchanted stream of shimmer. Transform your friends. Does not contain psychoreactive slime. Shimmering NPCs changes their design, which is kind of cool. They redesigned every NPC for aesthetic customization. They have different character portraits? Oh, I didn't even think of that. Okay, excuse me while I shimmer every single NPC and see what they look like. That's actually really cool that they did that. Huh. Wait, does it make the Clothier young? Oh, and the painter looks more like maybe a classical painter, not the kind of painter who would paint your house or something. Neat. What about you two? Oh yeah, I remember this redesign. Okay, now that actually makes the arms dealer look ridiculously cool. I prefer that. Don't bother me, you annoying thing. I think it'll be fine. I guess the nurse is more a healer from some religious organization. That's what that looks like to me. Cool, cool. I gotta give them props. Doing different character portraits for everybody is pretty high effort. I guess... Did I ever say much about the zoologist? I can say that the zoologist's dialogue is probably peak relogic cringe. I have no idea why they went for that. It's... I don't know, I just don't see the appeal of that dialogue. But I think I like this design better. Wait, does she also have a different portrait when she turns into a wolf? Because that's what happens during full moons. So does that mean that her shimmered version also has two different portraits? I would assume so. Ah, yeah. The witch doctor is actually one of the lizard people from the temple, which is one instance where I think the lore is kind of cool. I'll grab some vials of venom while I'm here. That should be enough. I guess I should grab a multiple of 5. Oh yeah, this is part of the crossover with Dungeon Defenders 2, is that the Dryad is a playable character in Dungeon Defenders 2, and this is her design there. That's kind of clever, I like that. Okay, where to next? Yep, here. The doors remained open. I think NPCs can get interrupted from closing the doors. Oh yeah, that's cute. Very similar to her regular design, though. Oh, you're almost entirely machine. I assume you just have a human brain in there. That's neat. And I don't mind that in the slightest. Still sort of a steampunk aesthetic. Oh, right. The hard mode enemies can just sort of open doors at all times. Maybe that's why the doors were open. I'll ditch a lot of these cosmetic items. I'm not really going to use them. I saved an eye spring. I don't need the money. Selling everything would just be a waste of time. Oh yeah, I didn't disable those. I'm going to switch the peace candle back on. I don't need this place to be a war zone. Not at the moment, anyway. Huh? Oh. I turned him into a furry. I don't really get the connection between golfing and this design, but I don't know, maybe it's a reference to something. Could be. Is it just me, by the way, or when games make constant references and lame jokes, they kind of fail to establish their own identity? I don't think Terraria is quite that bad, but let's say Enter the Gungeon. I can sum it up thematically as a bunch of references to movies and puns with guns. That's the majority of the thematic content of Gungeon. Oh, you look like a prince. That's neat. Again, I don't think I've ever shimmered him because that's an NPC I don't bother with. You can craft dyes with that crafting station I bought from him and equip them to these slots to color each of your accessories, your vanity items, your pets even. They also have dye slots. And in hard mode only, there are these flowers that grow that you can exchange for dyes that have animations and more flashy, extreme effects than the regular dyes. And for some reason they made those hard mode exclusive. I don't really know why. Oh wait, it was because people were selling them for a lot of gold in the early game, because when they grew in the early game you could just sort of get rid of them. Huh, the guide, I guess, looks much older and wiser. Oh, the merchant looks cool as hell. I like that. This is fun. I'm glad I thought to do this. I'm glad I specifically decided to check what other items could be shimmered that I might be forgetting about. Oh yeah, this is fun. I don't know if they're supposed to look like Etherean goblins or just another race of goblins. Wait a minute. Goblin girl mechanic is kind of awesome. I didn't really think about that, but now that I see the portrait. I think the idea here is that the tinker and the mechanic are in love canonically, so this is like some alternate universe where they're both members of the same species, I guess. I like that design for... Again, I usually don't bother, because look at all the gold he's collected thus far. That's nothing. But now I finally saw his alternate design as well. Nearly done with this. And then I'll start an event. In fact, while I'm up here, I might get the opportunity to, if I'm lucky. Oh, I think I remember the pirate. He was, yeah, he becomes a ghost. That's really cool. Yeah, the Hallow. And then the beach. You can see I placed these crystal plants. And these paintings, which you can only get from the princess. This is now the wizard's room. And I wish he could walk all the way up here and reach his tower. Maybe I could like expand it so that his AI doesn't mess up here and fail to get to the table. Anyway, in general I wish NPC AI was better with stairs, because I think they would even struggle to walk up here, but I think it would be really cool. Oh, there's one of the strange plants, that's what they were called, for the hard mode dyes. Really, if they were bothered by people ignoring their practical use and just selling them for gold, lower the sell price. Why restrict us from experimenting more with vanity in the early game? I think that was a silly choice on Realogic's part. Anyway, I'm gonna shimmer everybody. I think it would be cool for the NPCs to be able to walk all the way up here and during the day they're just hanging out here, maybe sitting on these picnic tables I've set up. And then during the night they retreat to their rooms. It would just add something to the world if you're going to spend a lot of time here and hang out. It would be immersive, I guess, for the NPCs to not be so stupid. A minor redesign, but I like it. All of these redesigns are neat, honestly. From now on, I think I'm going to shimmer all my NPCs if I play again. I said that I like the princess to begin with. Well, let it be known, this aesthetic with the red eyes and the white hair, that's... that feels like it's targeting me specifically, I'm not gonna lie. I'm a sucker for that type of design. And I guess the wizard becomes a Final Fantasy mage. I like that. I forget what their species was called. They were like clones, right? I don't know that much about Final Fantasy, but this is obviously an allusion to that. And finally, Stylist and the Angler. I don't know which one I prefer, but that's alright, I guess. For some reason, I like the sprite more than the portrait. Again, they're not quite the same, I don't think. Oh, right. Wait, isn't that a... What was that called? A kappa? Not the Twitch emote. The, was it a yokai? What was it? I think it was some mythological creature, but it was like a mischievous creature, if I remember correctly. So yeah, that definitely suits the Angler. Okay. Now, since I have this mount, I'm gonna drink a battle potion and fly up into the space layer. Because that took a while, and I still haven't done all that much. Oh, right. I should replace the bats with... Well, first of all, I'm just not gonna summon anything for the time being. I decided to go up here because it's part of the map I haven't explored yet. You can see how ridiculous this mount is. Who needs wings, actually? Like, seriously, I could actually replace my wings. I do think the wings give you more maneuverability, though, so it's probably still worth it. I would need a water candle. There's actually a way to place tiles in midair without being connected to anything, using an item sold by the mage. I think that item is really good for building, just for that reason. It lets you place temporary tiles anywhere in empty space. So if I wanted, I could have used that to place one of those tiles here, place a platform off of it before it disappears, place a water candle on the platform. I'm looking for the rare creatures indicator. I wonder, actually, did I have to be in the outer parts of the world? Well, I am now. I'm not forgetting anything else, right? Well, I could have made my accessory. There is that. I think if I'm gonna stick with the Morning Star, it makes more sense to have just pure damage accessories rather than attack speed and auto swing. So that's why I was considering switching accessories. And I think about it, maybe that floating island's a better idea. Oh, there's the giant harpy feather. If I wanted to collect all the wings. There it is. Oh, apparently you can shimmer lucky clovers into wilted clovers. Oh, there it is. You want to get scanned by that thing and let it fly away to start the Martian invasion, which is the last invasion event of the game. The doors are blocked off. Okay, this is going to be sort of an uphill battle. The Martians are not exactly the easiest thing in the world. Okay, I'm maxed out on summons. I will buff myself. Now I'm maxed out on summons. Lots of lasers. There are Martians that set up sentries that shoot even more lasers at you. Those wavy projectiles inflict a very devastating damage over time effect. So I want to watch out for those. And there's a boss that will spawn eventually, which is what I'm really looking for. Because that boss drops another summon weapon. There's the buff, debuff, electrified. I'm messing up my words, and my stuffy nose is not helping either. Wow, they really built those up fast. I think they probably are weak to venom, actually. I should throw those out instead. Those flying enemies just kamikaze bomb you. They do a lot of damage. I've died to them quite a bit in the past. Yeah, the engineers build those incredibly quickly. I'm reminded of Team Fortress 2 because of that. Maybe I should be flying around with this. Yeah, once the boss of this event starts spawning, I'm gonna disregard most of the enemies and just kill that boss as many times as I can. And I might actually farm for the summon weapon if need be. Obviously, there's another reference in this event. It's obviously supposed to be War of the Worlds. Particularly the Martian Walker enemies. Which is obvious, but it's something to talk about while I farm enemies for the nth time in this game. Soon enough it should appear. There it is. The Martian Saucer. And I have this flying mount, so fighting it should be incredibly easy. It's got rockets, it's got laser machine guns, and a Martian death ray, which hits for a lot of damage. Very much avoid that. One kind of neat thing is when you destroy its weapons, they will shoot out sparks instead. Normally, you would dodge this laser by moving to the left or to the right on the ground, which is not really doable in midair, because it tries to go to either side of you, it alternates. But with this flying mount I can just do that, and the Cosmic Car Key right there is the other flying mount that was in the game before Master Mode was added. Now, yeah. Another saucer should spawn soon enough. That's the gist of it. The laser machine guns can't aim up, from what I can tell. They can only aim 180 degrees below the saucer. Whereas the rockets are omnidirectional because they home in before they start flying straight. Get away from me. Yeah, now I have the relic for the Martian saucer, so I just decided that I want to get all the relics before I consider this playthrough complete. And I think next I'll fight bosses. I think maybe I should try the last tier of the Old One's army next. Should be fine. I might want to consider what the best summon is for the end game. I believe they added a new end game whip alongside the bigger and bolder update, I think is what it was called. Oh, that just reminds me of Rise of the Triad and all of its silly, puntastic names. Like 95 windows, a bolder vision. That's a very similar pun. Tom's Halls, designed by Tom Hall. Of course. I quite like Rise of the Triad. It's fun. It's a very bizarre point in FPS history, I think. Alright, about this accessory, which I keep forgetting to just go to the Tinker's Workshop. Sunstone and Moonstone, they give you stat boosts during day and night respectively. Put them together, you just get stat bonuses always. Which includes all of this. Did it actually specify all the stats of boosts before? I don't think it did. Huh. It gives enough boosts for Summoner that I think it's worth it, and there's also the Moon Shell, which combines the Moon Charm. You turn into a werewolf at night, which gives you melee bonuses that apply to whips as well, I think, because melee speed applies to whips. And Neptune's Shell turns you into a merfolk. So you can move super fast underwater. I think you have some stat boosts underwater as well. So I'll make the Moon Shell. That's a combination of both of them. And then Celestial Stone and Moon Shell is Celestial Shell. All of the effects combined. I'll think about if it's really the best idea. I think it is. But maybe I'll test it out and decide I actually prefer the Berserker's Glove. And if I get a different whip that swings faster, I think the Berserker's Glove is better. I forget how the numbers work out exactly, but pretty sure it would work that way. Alright. I never unblock the doors because there's just no need. I'm used to being up here, so I just drop down like that. So thank you, Sanguine Staff, but these things are pretty good, and they're quite fast and accurate anyway. The Shimmer Gun. Oh, right, I forgot about this. I decided to put some hard mode stuff in here. Maybe I'll move some items that I'll consider using again. Like the Blade Staff can stay in here, free up my inventory a little bit. Martian Saucer Relic goes down there. I used to sort these based on the order in which you're intended to do all of this in, or the order it's listed on the wiki, but why be so obsessive about that? If anything, placing them in the order I beat them in gives you an idea of how this playthrough went, so I think that's good. And I might as well make more of these. Oh yeah, I didn't use all my buffs. I'll use barbecue ribs and a venom flask. I'll equip the shell for now. And I might as well modify it with warding if possible. I have plenty of money. Quick, nope. Guarding, Menacing, I don't think so. I'm looking for at least armored. Menacing again. Okay, I'll stop there. The one defense point is not going to make enough of a difference. And Old One's Army. I think this will be probably the end of the events. I guess I'll use this lightning aura cane along with the flame burst. Should be fine. The lightning aura ignores defense, so I think it's definitely worth it, even if it's not the appropriate tier of sentry for the final tier of this event. So, same as before, the enemies have different sprites and higher stats again. I believe you need to beat either Golem or Plantera for this. I'm gonna say Plantera. I can't remember. They're so close together that it's not like I'm gonna spend a huge amount of time not having beaten Golem. Like, yeah, I made a detour to the dungeon to make the Golem fight a bit easier because of my rough experience with it last playthrough. But most times I just beat Golem right after Plantera and it's no problem. I realize that I can place my auras like that, it kind of works out. If I try to place an aura within these platforms, it shrinks its radius. Oh, right. We have lightning bugs now. They're pretty annoying and quick. They're even faster than wyverns, and I think they have a ranged attack. I gotta watch out for them. I can still ichor the enemies in order to buff everything's damage against them, except the lightning auras. I misremembered, by the way. Bug Fables works that way, where you can lower enemy defense into the negatives, thus making them take even more damage. I don't know why I thought Terraria worked the same way, but oh well. I think the damage over time of this is still good enough. I might want to place a flame burst in the middle, so it can kind of tip me off when flying enemies are getting too close. Same as before, nothing to really say about all this. The Draken, they do have a ranged attack, so it can be kind of a problem. That ranged attack pierces through the crystal and you. When I was farming this event at one point off camera, that nearly killed me because I forgot about it. It's funny, by the way, the enemies deal more damage, but the crystal also has more life, so the only effect it has is that the enemies can keep up with how much you've powered yourself up by now, and they can still be a threat to you specifically. Although I've mentioned it in a previous playthrough, I gotta say my favorite tower defense series is Gemcraft from the Flash era. That's where it all started. I just really like the setting and the tone of Gemcraft, and design-wise I think it does some really cool things. There are some RPG elements that are perhaps too dominant, but oh no. But it balances that out by having this, I mentioned this before, it has a high score system for experience, so you can't just farm the same level over and over again at the same difficulty. Past a certain point, you cannot gain experience without making the game harder. I forget, do you need to do a tier 3 of Old One's Army to get the relics? I think so. Yeah, I didn't get the relics earlier. Okay. I forgot about those. Maybe I'll need some more space up there. But I'll mess with that later, it's fine. Oh, there's an ogre on the opposite side. I should throw down lightning auras. I also forgot the ogre has the most crippling debuff that reduces your movement speed. You can barely move at all. You can avoid it, but the projectile that inflicts it has a splash radius, which is kind of rough. Oh, I might die to the enemies themselves. In any case, it keeps going like this, but now there's a final boss to the event. I think I'm gonna lose it now. Yeah, no way. I guess in this case, the respawn timer does something in single player. But I think that should be one of the only cases in which the respawn timer is active. I otherwise do not care for it. So I do think I can do this event, it's just without high enough level sentries, I will get overwhelmed. And how many medals do I have now? If I do that one more time, I'll have enough. So, in the interest of saving time, I can get both of the highest level sentries, and then start next part right at the boss fight of the Old One's army. And then I can do other boss fights as well. It's going to be a lot more prep work. Not that much, actually. It's just the buffs that are going to be boring to get. Oh yeah, this bow. It's kind of cool. It shoots out a homing explosive phoenix projectile. There are some good items. I don't need them. In fact, just preparing to do the event will give me the things that I want, which are the sentries. But yeah, I might go over 20 parts. It is what it is. I do want to show absolutely everything, and then if I ever do a playthrough of Terraria again, I will not be explaining most things other than new stuff from mods, for example. Well, thank you for watching.